ice cream, logical cream, flavors. Let's make a move, get away, what's your flavor? Tell me what it is again. What you like, get it twice, what's your style? Let's get crazy, let's get lit, let's get wild. Take you out, show you off, what's your flavor? Tell me what it is again. Anywhere in the world, take you mild. Show me the real, you go and let it out. Your flavor, vanilla minks on brown cones, rainbow sprinkles on your AP two-tone. I ain't about materials, it's habitual. For the infinity to get spiritual, I ridicule your decisions in the specimen. Make guys like me had to step up, be the better man. Baby, I know your flavor, green apple colored gators. I ain't a rich man yet, I'm gathering data. I'm saying.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Gandhi. You know what I'm saying? Once again, we're here on 95 South TV. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank God for this opportunity to be on this great platform, to be able to do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. You got it. Let me get my guests back on here for the day. You know what I'm saying? I got my right-hand man, you know what I'm saying, in the building tonight, Jacob Anderson the Great. What's going on, fam?
What's happening, man? Glad to be in the land of the living, man. Another day, another blessing, another chance to get it right.
Okay. That's what's up. What's up? So let's go ahead and introduce this young man so we can get this doggone interview crack-a-lacking.
Man, so we have a special guest, lyrical MC, top tier up and coming artist, man, out of the Midwest. My man Rock King, he, man, like when I met the brother, I met him through, DJ Kawon. Shout out to DJ Kawon out there in Dallas, Texas, man. Showed me some amazing love and man, like I just been listening to his vibe, and I've been listening to his music for some months now, and I knew he was dropping a project, so I was in tune, and he kind of put you in the mind of those lyrical guys that we grew up off of Icon in the '90s, bro. When Nas had his whole crew, Nature and Carmega and all them guys, the Brave Hearts and stuff like that, bro. So he kind of put you in the mind of those guys. So, man, he here with us, man. So welcome, my brother.
Peace. How y'all feeling tonight?
I'm good.
Doing
good. Bless.
Doing good, man. So when people ask you who you are, what type of answer is that for you?
Man, first and foremost, I like to think I'm just somebody that's a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for a specific purpose. And, music just so happened to be one of the gifts it is that I use. So it's a main part of me. So, always thinking, brand first when I'm presenting myself, you know what I'm saying, as a businessman and an entrepreneur. So, but yeah, pretty much, man, I'm somebody that's of integrity, morals, somebody that was a student of the game of hip hop and that just loved, the culture.
Right. So before we get started to your story, I just got one other question for you, man.
No doubt.
Do you think, with you being from the Midwest, and do you think that Milwaukee is slept on when it comes to dope artists?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it's slept on. I feel like it's some dope talent here, and I feel like once we get somebody that really just kick that door in and shine the light, I feel like it's gonna be more recognition for the city of Milwaukee.
Right. Okay. So, man, tell us what started it, man. Like, so how did you get started with music, and how did you discover that it was a passion of yours to impact the world with your gift?
Yep. So, like, really first started, I started like rapping really when I was like 11 years old. But as far as like really getting off into the studios, it was a little bit after I got out of high school. So I was just around friends that had like studio equipment. And then I remember going on my first tour out in Austin, Texas. A friend of mine was an artist that was opening up for Kevin Gates, and just kind of getting to see like the lifestyle, artists like that, banners, seeing the merch, seeing everything that's involved, with hip hop. I was like, yo, I wanted to do this. So grasped it, and I just stuck with it, man. I would say I've been recording in studios now for about like going on a decade, about 10 years.
Okay. So tell us about the experience of your very first single that you recorded. What type of experience was that for you?
Man, it was dope, man. My very first single, I would say, was with DJ Kawon. It was a joint called Uplifter, and it was a positive joint, uplifting the women, letting them know that you don't got to be presenting yourself out here as a hoe, and having, like a basic mindset, letting them know that they queen, and to have more self-respect for yourself, because I feel like slut culture, hoe culture, all those things is being praised right now. And I don't stand for that. So I just want to let them know that they more than that, and give them a positive vibe.
That's dope, man. So what inspired you to do a track like that, man? From the things that you've seen and and just like from the mindset of some of the women that you see that is living that type of lifestyle, man. Like, how did you kind of sit back and think about it, be like, you know what, man, I need to really put something out, man, to kind of help them understand that there's some brothers out here that's rooting for you, that's trying to uplift you.
Right.
So what's really good? So
Mm-hmm.
how did you kind of get inspired to put a track out like that?
Just because I felt like it was needed, and I got like homies and OGs that I talk to, on a regular basis, because I got an old soul, and certain conversations that come up, like, our women need something, because we see what's going on out here as far as like how they happen to present themselves to necessarily be successful in hip hop today, or not just hip hop, but R&B and other genres too, but more so in our culture, hip hop culture. So,
Hmm.
seeing that type of stuff, we was like, yo, we need a joint for the ladies. And, I'm a conscious MC too. So, and my mentality and mindset was just to make something positive for them to be able to rock out and let them know that they more. You know what I'm saying? That y'all queens, y'all more than just calling yourself a bad bitch, or, you know what I'm saying? Something along those lines.
Right. And so, what is your stance on the hip hop culture nowadays? Um, where do you see it at? Because, like you say, you thrive off the some of the greats, like the Tupacs and the Nas and people like that, man. So those type of people inspire you. So what what do you see the problem with hip hop now, or do you see it as a problem, or do you think that it's going it's going to evolve into something more greater than it already is?
Yeah, I think it's gonna always be great, because I feel like it's influential and it inspires people. But I think culture vultures will be the reason why hip hop isn't standing in integrity, because like I feel like this is a culture. You feel me?
Uh huh.
I feel like with vultures having their hands in play in certain areas in the culture, that allows people to not really stand on integrity and to do things a certain way because they being controlled. So I feel like, having the integrities, the morals, and really, standing for the culture and gatekeeping, doing some gatekeeping, it could be needed for hip hop, and to help it evolve even more than what it is right now.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you one more brief question, then I'm gonna hand it over to you, my boy Icon. What is the hip hop scene like out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin nowadays?
Uh, it's more so like you will see, you familiar with that Detroit sound, like that. They call
Right.
it like jack music.
Of
So
course.
you see a lot of that going on. That's what I would say the majority of the scenery look like here. But we definitely got some hip hop here. We definitely got some MCs. We definitely got some talent out here that's doing their thing. But for the majority of the sound, I would say it's more so similar to that Detroit sound, like that jack music. That's the majority of what I would say most of the hip hop you see out here.
Okay. Dope. Icon.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back here on 95 South TV. Okay, we back here on 95 South TV. So a couple of questions I got. One, I seen in your bio, I did listen to a couple of your joints. I seen in your bio that Kendrick Lamar was one of your people that you were that you was inspired by, whether it was come from the music and the television side. So, and I ain't gonna lie to you, when I first was listening to it, you sound a lot like Kendrick Lamar. I don't think you've gotten that before, but when I heard it, I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because the first song I listened to, I think, was Golden, the Golden. I was like, hold on, is he on the song with Kendrick? And I was like, oh, and I had to listen to the other ones. I was like, oh no, this is him rapping. And you know what I'm saying? It was a breath of fresh air, just from, because sometimes when artists sound like other artists, it's not intentional. People think how people try to sound like other people, but I could just tell by your voice, your regular voice, that you have your regular voice sounds like Kendrick. Y'all have similar voices, so I know it's not intentional. Because years ago, I give you a story. Years ago, I interviewed a rapper named Casanova. What's his name? Casanova the Don. I want to say he was from up north, I think Philly or somewhere, or
No, he's from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And he sounded just like Tupac. And I mean like cadence, everything. And to the point when we interviewed him, we made him rap in the studio just for people to know that like this wasn't made up. Whatever. And he just like that's just what his flow was, or what. But we've had it over the years, whether it was Shine, people said it like Biggie. I think it was a rapper from LA that sounded like Jay-Z that used to be on the K Slate mixtapes back in the day. I forgot his name, but it's been rappers over the years. So what I'm saying, I'm just saying that to say this is when you're saying the sound of Milwaukee and whatever. So when you started rapping as a young kid or whatever, what was really like motivation wise? Because I know Milwaukee is one of those cities that we've learned now that's considered a racist city and has a lot of violence. So were you around all that, and what was your kind of like childhood like to kind of inspire the way you rap now?
Yeah, I was definitely around it. I was definitely around it. And I would say, like, some of my influence was coming. I would ride in the car with my pops, and he was a big Dr. Dre fan. So we listened to a lot of like West Coast music. Growing up, I done watched Friday, everything the Cube did. Big Ice Cube fan too. So like I listened to a lot of West Coast music. I liked the sound because it was different. It had like a swagger and a bop to their sound. So I was very West Coast influenced, but I was still loving what MCs was doing out here on the East Coast too. So, I was just a fan of hip hop, man. Being honest, a fan of hip hop, studied the legends, the people who I thought was great. I studied and watched them, and somehow took what I learned from them and added it to my own personal experiences and stories to where it's not like me mimicking them, but taking the actual skill set in the art and learning it, from them.
Okay, now you said you want to do some acting. What would be like your dream role, or what would you feel like that you would be good at if you got into it, or is it just one of those things you just want to get in the door?
Yeah, I do got a dream role. Like I feel like playing the power scene, like playing on like something with power that 50 doing, just because that type of stuff real relatable coming from Milwaukee and being around those characters, being able to relate to some of those characters that's on that story. Living in the city of Milwaukee, that's a role I feel like I really excel in, playing somewhere in like a power.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because I heard you said something that's very interesting. You said that you feel like the industry needs gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And so, because it's funny you say that, because me and Jacob, we had an interview with somebody a few months back, and we were saying we feel like not necessarily gatekeepers, but we do feel like it needs to be structured back in the industry, or whatever. And I think most young people don't really understand. That's why it's a wild west type of deal right now, because it's not necessarily saying we need the white man and to do all that whatever, but we do need some kind of structure, some kind of organization, because it's all over the place. So what makes you feel like, from what you've seen, that you feel like that the gatekeepers or people, it needs to be that structure back in the industry?
Just when you look at the morals and you look at some of the things that's going on, even watching TV. No disrespect to anybody that's gay or anything like that, but I feel like they're really pushing homosexual culture out here. On the kids, not just in hip hop, but just on TVs, cartoons, things of that nature. You see too. So I feel like it needs to get back to really just having integrity and morals, and you have the right people in hip hop. That's iconic figures do that. So that's why I feel like it's a great time for artists to really be independent so you can control your own vision. Most people look at the record deal as the ideal place to go as far as signing, but it comes with stipulations, man. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't tell somebody not to sign, but I, I would just be aware, you know what I'm saying, of what's going on out here because you never want to be in a situation where you can't use your art the way you want to use it. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty much falling into like a puppet type of role. But we definitely need those gatekeepers to keep that integrity within hip hop because, going into like the golden era per se, I feel like, that's when rap was conscious, and it was people actually that was talking about something. I feel like those same morals not in the entirety of hip hop today.
Okay, well, okay. So we about to have a real conversation right now. You ready, Jacob?
I'm always ready for this.
So this we talk, and I think that, me and Jacob try to educate people when it comes to this a lot. A lot of times when we say artists need to be independent, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing to that. And I'm gonna tell you why it's a bad thing to it. Because when you say independent, you have to have money to be independent. A lot of artists want to say, "Oh, I want to be independent," and they want to use that word loose of being an independent artist. But then when you say that you have a budget to go towards, marketing, radio, promotion, doing your own shows, they don't have it.
Right.
See, wants to blow up. They always want to be picked up and be on somebody else's, tour. They want somebody. They want to be. They think it's the end all be all is the social media platforms, the YouTubes, and all that kind of stuff. But it's a smaller percentage of people that make it like that than the majority of people think it is.
Right.
And the thing about it is what people that frustrate us with me and Jacob is people, young people don't think you need radio anymore, but you do. Because if you think about it, the artist that's the biggest in the world still use radio. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they still need radio when it comes to being able to get their music out. And the thing about it is, what most artists don't realize, you probably still need what you call college radio, independent radio stations.
Yep.
It's not about the big boys, because I guarantee you, if you blow up on college radio, if you blow up on independent radio, the big boys will come a call. But you got to have some kind of budget, and you have to be committed to that budget when you go to those platforms. See, they don't want to say, "Oh, it's payola in radio." That's a lie. It's definitely, they just can't use that word. But it's always been payola in radio ever since the beginning of time.
In everything.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, artists have to be able to understand you have to use everything. You have to use the street still as far as out, passing out flyers, talking to the people in the streets, going up the clubs, hitting up the bars, even performing at these clubs, these bars, these open mics, these showcases. And then even sometimes what like I used to do back in the day, years ago, when I used to manage my brother and other artists in Florida, create your own shows, create your own, promote your own parties. You know what I'm saying? Nobody to give you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You go to these colleges, you know what I'm saying, and talk to whoever's in charge of the music program or whatever, and say, look, you know what I'm saying, I'm an artist trying to do stuff, or just, get with these college kids. I don't know if you got friends, or if you get them into college, or you got friends that go to college. You know what I'm saying? Get them involved. Get you a movement going. Like I got a friend now, we interviewed him a few months ago named Coolie T. Every single day he has on his Come Up for Life t-shirt. Every day. They said like how you see a cartoon and then every day they got that same outfit on?
Right.
gonna have on that come up TV. So she might be different forms of it, but every wearing his brand. So whatever brand is, every time you go to the mall, the barbershop, the grocery store, the restaurant with your girl, go to Chuck E. Cheese with your kids, you should have on that Rod. What's he called? How you pronounce your name? Rod King?
Rod King, yeah.
And you should have something on that say Rod King on it every time. Really taking it seriously like you want to. And then because what happens is it gets just like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, it gets embedded in people's head.
Right.
But one thing about us is sometimes as people, we don't want to promote our own sales. And I said, think about it. Coca-Cola been around for 100 years, right? They still got commercials, right? They don't need. Do Coca-Cola really need commercials anymore? Probably not. They still got Coca-Cola commercials, you know what I'm saying, 100 years later. And they're probably the longest running, probably at least liquid brand in the world other than water. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, you have to think along the line. But we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back and I'm gonna let you chime in and I'm gonna let Jacob chime in on that. We'll be right. Okay, we back on 95 South TV, and I didn't want to go on no soap opera, but
I feel you.
But what it really is.
Go ahead, Raw.
No. I was just saying I feel where he was coming from. I feel like he had a lot of good points. You know what I'm saying? And as an artist, you should be promoting your brand every day. You know what I'm saying? You definitely want to get that embedded. So, you know, this is a lifestyle too once you're a part of this culture. So,
and man, you know, the culture can be very, you know, challenging. I'm gonna say that just to say the least.
Yeah.
It can be challenging, but at the same time, man, it can be so rewarding. And I'm not talking about monetary, but you can be rewarded on a monetary gain. But when you are an intellectual mind and you vibrate on a different frequency,
right.
It's rewarding on how you can impact someone else's mind. You know what I mean? That's something that people don't look at it. You know, I've been rocking with Common Sense, the group Common Sense, and I tell people all the time about Common, man. His elevation with him, man. He always, you know, tries to challenge someone else's mind so he can keep his challenge. You know what I'm saying? And so and that's the key. But you know, when it comes to you, man, you got this new project, the Golden Age.
Right.
So why did you call it that, and what does that name mean to you?
Well, first of all, I like gold. Let me just say that. I like gold, but the reason for me calling it the Golden Age would be just it was paying homage to the golden era in hip hop. So this album was pretty much, as I was telling Brother Kawon, the one who produced the project. Anyways, I was letting him know that, you know, the Golden Age is pretty much me stepping into the time machine, going back into the 90s era specifically, and reinventing that, you know, through my perspective. Because I felt like that was a golden era. That was my favorite time in hip hop, and I wanted to create something, you know, and give, you know, the hip hop heads, you know, my favorite time in hip hop. So that's what we did with the Golden Age project, and that's why it was called, you know, the Golden Age, paying homage to the golden era of the 90s.
So you paying homage to the OGs of hip hop, some of the pioneers of hip hop.
No doubt.
When you talk about that with your peers, what are those conversations like?
That's a good question. Man, really having, you know, these intellectual conversations that we have in here, how we was just speaking on something such as gatekeeping, just because we care about the culture. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see it get taken advantage of, or they having all this gimmick stuff out here that's being promoted, because you think about that too, that get into the minds of people, just how he was just talking about like Coca-Cola, you know, getting that embedded into the mind. So like, you know, music is a universal language. So you put out a negative frequency, you know, that can lead somebody's life to destruction. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, with words is power too. And I feel like you got to be careful and mindful and aware of how you're using your words.
Right. So with the gatekeeping, I'm gonna say this, and we'll move on from that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a discussion with somebody today, and I said, man, I miss Russell Simmons so much.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, with Russell, the artist he had on the label was hot,
Mm-hmm.
and you never heard these artists cry that they was broke. Like it seemed like Def Jam artists was really, really happy, man. You know what I mean? And I said the whole Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin and I said, man, even if we look at Jay-Z artists, like all of them seem to be doing very, very well. They don't cry broke. Kanye artists on good music.
Mm-hmm.
They don't they don't they don't be crying about nothing, man. And I just with people like Russell Simmons and
Artists,
Kevin
I wouldn't go
Liles.
there.
So what now?
I wouldn't go there far with Jay-Z artists. I wouldn't go there far.
I don't hear him crying, bro. I don't hear him crying, bro.
Mosquito, he always crying. He always
Who?
talking bad about Jay.
That ain't Jay-Z artist icon. What you mean?
What
They
you?
been off this, man. That you talking about 20 years ago?
Oh, you talking about now? I thought you meant like
Yeah,
overall.
yeah. But you talking about people who had money and didn't know what to do with it.
Who? I mean, I'm just saying about what the Oskino was saying that Jay always
Man,
been.
I don't believe nothing he say, man, because I was there in that era. I lived in DC. I was going to Philly. I was going to New York. I was in that era, bro. And
Okay.
I know how them state property boys used to highball out there and spend millions of dollars, bro. Man, they had a label. They had a film company. They had all type of retail stores. Man, listen, man. Detail shops. Man, listen, man. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I believe you, bro. If you say he BS, then I believe
Yeah,
you.
but this is my thing, Icon. When you was in that limelight, you weren't crying. But now that you're not relevant anymore, now you crying broke, man. Hey, man, you just can't live for the moment, man. Man, you gotta live for the future too.
Well. That's just the thing. So I don't know if Rakim, like if you got your own label or you got your own company. And the one thing I always talk to my son about, because my son, he has his own label. He's in the movie industry, the TV, and he's seeing a lot now behind the scenes going through. And the one thing I always tell him is that when you, as an artist, let's just say you a Jay-Z or you a Lucas or you a 50. And if you have success first, I don't care how big or small it is. Let's just say, for instance, on an independent level, you sell 100,000 copies, right? But just say you have an artist behind you and they sell 75,000. That 75,000 artist that sell 75,000 copies is not going to be happy because they're going to be looking at you like, why couldn't I sell 100,000 like you? So even you did everything you could to maybe push them, and they might not be hot enough. The fans may not have gravitated to them enough. Whatever it is,
Icon, you sugarcoating it, man. You
I'm
sugarcoating
just
it. Stop, man. Stop, man.
telling you,
Some some
end
some
up
of these some of
end up
these
your business.
artists be with a hot label, but when you try to push them, the powers that be that's over you are the entities who is the program directors and the promoters and the music curators. They was like, bro, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but that artist ain't marketable.
But that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you do everything you can to market the artist and they just don't sell. That's
That's
what
what I'm trying to tell you.
you know what
That's
I'm
a non-marketable artist, man.
I ain't
Either
gonna say it's
the
not
either artist is not marketable or the song is not marketable.
I wouldn't say it's not marketable. Sometimes it just may be that particular. Okay, let's just put it like this. Let's just say if you were to put Drake on like, let's say you to put Drake on like uh Loud Records instead of with Birdman and them. He might not have done the same
You
because
telling a
Loud
lie?
Records
You
was
telling a
a
lie?
street label.
You telling? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna
You
tell you
say
why.
what now? Why?
I'm gonna tell you why he would have did the same thing. He already had 47 million fans worldwide, man, off his TV show. He was gonna sell regardless, man. it just happened that.
But not he sell and sell like that is two different things. He got monster sales. You talking about what he's doing is not really considered rap no more. They don't even consider Drake a rapper. They consider him a pop artist. I'm saying there's a difference between you getting pop numbers and you getting hip hop numbers. That's a
But
whole different.
who consider him a pop artist? Us.
If you hear now, most of these
I mean, listen, man.
rappers don't really consider Drake a rapper.
Icon.
Do you really consider Drake no, I'm gonna ask Rod King this. Do you really consider Drake a rapper, or do you feel like he's just an artist that does rap sometimes?
I mean, I feel he both. I feel he a little bit of both, man. Like you know, when he first came out, he had more things that was rap, but I would say he's more pop than anything, though. As we talking about him as of right now, the current, I'm saying, I would say he's more pop.
But Rock, we did just say music is a universal language, right?
Yeah.
I get
And
what
so, hey, Rock, this is what I'm. This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say, Rock. This is what I'm gonna say about the black culture.
You trying to do one of them? You trying to do one of them Stephen A. Smith dead or alive moves? No, I'm not.
No, I can't. No, I can't. Man, black people contradict themselves all the time. They said music is a universal language, but their minds are not universal.
But you know good and well the music world don't categorize music like that. They don't categorize. If that's the case, then when you get certain rap versus like the old school rap versus the new rap, most people say they need to change the name of the new rap. So because they ain't trying to look at it as universal, they look at it as what they doing now ain't rap. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so bad to certain people. But anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back because we got to keep going with this. Okay, we back here in 95.
Hey man, didn't that man tell you I don't make music for dudes?
Who said that?
Drake.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
My point. Exactly my point.
I'm just saying, man.
How much hip hop music is made for women? Like as far as
I don't know, I can't. It ain't a lot, man, because LL gave people the keys to the city, and they ain't never pay him no attention. You know what I mean?
You think about Drake's last album, I thought it was elevator music. I felt like I was in Macy's or Belts or somewhere when I was.
well, I can't. It ain't for you, man.
Exactly.
It ain't for you. It ain't for you.
Exactly.
People in the like when it comes to artists like him, I tell artists all the time, man, listen. If you only just plan to sell music in the U.S., then you in the wrong business. Like the U.S. is just only a small portion of where his music sells at.
I mean, I get what you're saying because you know me. You know how I think. I always thought about worldwide. I always thinking about international takeover in anything I do. That's why we move the way we move, as far as always trying to team up or build with other people. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to ask Rod King this because I don't want to feel like we trying to take his energy somewhere else because it's about him. So, so basically, where do you see yourself going? On in what's your goals? Because I don't want to get away from what your goals are, whether it's going on tour, whether it's been an international star. What in your mind? What's your vision?
Well, honestly, man, like I signed up for this thing to be the best, man, and that's what drives me because at the end of the day, it's a sport and it's competitive. So my goal is to be like a GOAT, one of the greatest of all time. To be in that barbershop conversations that they be having when they bring up the top 5 rappers, that would make me comfortable. And to take hip hop beyond just the underground, to make it mainstream but not water it down to where it's gimmicky, but to take it to where we make the underground mainstream. That's my goal with it.
Okay. Well, that's dope. That's dope. So, I want to ask you about a song of yours.
Okay.
I listen to it about 4 times a day, and I was like, "Oh man, like, what was?" I was like, "What? Let me hear this again." You have a song called "Savior."
Twist.
I said, listen, man. So, and then I had to ask myself, I said, how old is he? Because people in his generation ain't talking about this. You know what I mean? People in his generation ain't talking about the forbidden apple that Adam bit. People in your generation ain't rapping about how pastors are in the pulpit pimping. You said all that. You know what I mean? So let's talk about that record, man.
No doubt. So you know, that one was produced by this producer out of Minnesota. They go by Twist Productions, Twist Smith Productions, and you know, it was like our first time linking up. You know what I'm saying? A cousin of mine made the introduction. He wanted to send me some beats. So before I had my home studio, I used to be in the studio a lot. So I was going to the studio, had one of his beats in, probably booked like a 7-8 hour session back in those days. And that was something I wanted to get done. And me and him started working together, and it just came out, man. It's one of them joys just came out like that. You know what I'm saying? I would consider myself a conscious individual as far as on the aspects of where I'm aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying in the world today. So
yeah. But I said, yeah, he actually went in on this one, and it'll go over a lot of people's head, and a lot of people may even get angry at the track. You know what I mean? Cause you know, black people black people, man, the only thing they ever had was each other, the community, and God. So you know what I mean. So it might rub somebody wrong way, but if you really listen to it, man, you're speaking about what we're living this day and age. You know what I'm saying? You're not speaking about what your grandparents lived or even what they lived back in the day, but you're speaking about what we see right before our eyes when it comes to what's going on in the pulpits and stuff like that, and how the television and the television and the visuals on TV has manipulated our children's minds. So you're definitely speaking about that as well, man. So I just want to say salute to you for that song. So
absolutely.
With this,
man, I want to add this on to what you were saying too. I want to say, like, you know, sometimes you just got to be blunt with what it is that you're saying and not worried about how it's delivered, because, you know, I feel like we in a state today where we need truth, and people be caring or want you to be sensitive with how you deliver it. Like, some stuff ain't made to be sensitive. You got to say it straight like it is and not sugarcoat certain stuff. So that's what I feel like that track was right there, to save your joint.
Well, see, before we, and I wanted to say this too, is that, you know, people don't get offended by drill music.
Yeah.
They don't get offended by, like you said, about women getting called out their name.
Right.
They don't get offended by, you know, certain things. So when you speaking the truth, whether it's on the biblical front, whether it's real life or whatever, then you want to push the envelope. That's the kind of music you want people to hear about. Ooh, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And especially when it's real life situations versus then, you know, they saying woo off of, you know, somebody smoking their dead homies or whatever they dead. I mean, they dead ops or whatever. Which to me, I'm gonna say this. I feel like this is why I feel like somebody like I told my son this, and I told and I'm saying this to you. You got a great opportunity right now, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you look at people, and I'm not trying to be funny, but when you look at Diddy's situation, and you look at Jay-Z's situation, and you look at certain these so-called people that were kind of gatekeeper situation, it's sometimes God moving people out of the way for people like you. So now you can be not necessarily the gatekeeper, but you can be that voice that hip hop is missing. So now hip hop, every probably like 5 to 10 years, hip hop goes through a transition. They go through their whole phase. They go through they gangster phase. They go through their conscious phase. They go through everything. So now artists like yourself can make these labels, and people in that's still gatekeepers out there say we need to get back to the essence of hip hop. We need to get back to the realness of hip hop. or whatever. So we need to look at a artist like WORKIN versus looking at this other artist who all he gonna talk about is the same old, is smoking his ops and whatever. And the thing about it, that rap, it has spilled over to the real world, because now you're getting concerts shot up, you're getting killed innocently at the clubs in the streets based off of what they're doing, versus before, when it used to just be talking on wax. And you might have a few scuffles in the club and stuff back in the day, but you weren't getting people killed. Like Tupac and Biggie situation, that's an anomaly. That wasn't the norm back then. But everything evolved to something else if you don't put some kind of, a wrap on it, if you don't kind of put a bow on it. So see, that situation never got put a bow on it. What happened was artists came behind Tupac and Biggie and said, "Oh, we can be as big as them if we do what they doing." And the labels thought it was cool. But now that they saying it's a backlash, a blowback on them, because these artists are getting killed and going to prison at a faster rate and getting all these RICO charges and stuff, now they got to rethink their plan and what they doing. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back. I'm going to let y'all comment on that before we get up out of here. Okay,
Yeah,
back.
man. You
Go ahead.
You definitely a shining star, though, brother. You definitely got it, man. And keep on creating, keep on, keep on peaking, that intelligent mindset you have, and keep on impacting people, man. You definitely got it. But when I listen to your joints on Bandcamp and stuff like that, because you got a lot of joints, you know what I mean? So I said, man, he remind me of a group who I ain't heard in a long time. Group by the name of Slum Village. I was like, wow. Do you familiar, right?
Yep, I'm familiar with Slum Village. DJ Kawon, my producer I'm working with, he locked in with those boys, so I'm definitely familiar with
Yeah, yeah, man. And man, like once I started vibing with your music, man, it took me back 20 years ago when I used to listen to them. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, man, we definitely room for you, man. And what are the 3 lead singles off the new project?
So the 3 lead singles would be the Golden Age intro, which is the beginning track. You're gonna see a visual to that one. 92. The reason why that one's a special one, that's the year I was born. So, and these is all numbers of the 90s too, that the Golden Age is. So,
Okay.
They go from the intro, and after the intro, it goes from 90 all the way down to 99. And 92, that's one's also in parentheses titled "The Year I Was Born," because I was born in actual 92. So that's one of the singles off the track. And then we got 93, where that one is a homage to Nas. He had a joint called Nas's Life. And
Yeah.
Kawon flipped that one, and we called it Rise Life. So that one's in parentheses too. Those are the only 2 songs that's titled on the project as Year I Was Born, but really is 92, and then 93 being Rise Life, where that's just paying homage to Nas.
Okay. Bet, man. So, man, hey, be room for you, man. And I look forward to see you shining and grinding and getting everything you deserve and getting everything you came for, man. For sure, man.
And you know what, man, I'm gonna definitely spin the block with y'all. I just want to let y'all know, man, I got much more work that's coming out, for this year, and we're gonna be in tune for sure.
Okay.
I like what y'all doing over here, and I want to rock with real people. I want to go on real platforms. You know what I'm saying, to put the hip hop in the right hands, and I definitely feel like with him giving the game icon on, helping independent artists the way they should maneuver, this is a platform, that I should definitely be on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's definitely why because I see what you're doing, and I'm a big fan of real MCs and real artists and whatever, and I want to see you go. I want to see you blow up and go where you need to go. So me and Jacob move around, the country, the different events and stuff, especially on up and down the East Coast, and so we'll let you know anything we got going on that you can get involved in. If it's big festivals, big events, you know what I'm saying, it can definitely keep you informed of what's going on, so you could pop out, you know what I'm saying, and show the world what you got, I definitely feel like if the right people see you, you know what I'm saying, you definitely can make some power moves in what you're doing.
Oh, it's a wrap for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you coming on tonight and giving us your time, and you know what I'm saying, and we're gonna keep. Well, I'm gonna definitely listen to that whole project because I just the songs today, but I like that whole idea, and that's one thing I do want to say before we get out of here. Me and Jacob was talking about this. A lot of artists in this generation, they don't have what they call structure in their music, meaning they don't have a real theme to their music. You hear album, it's just all over the place, just
Right.
songs. It's no kind of, whatever. Like to me, I always go back to Kendrick Lamar's first album or second album. You know what I'm saying? Mad City, because the way it was put together. Biggie's first album, the way it was put together. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you another album to listen to. I don't know if you ever heard it, Master Ace. It's called something Summertime. I can't remember the exact name of the album, but it's like a whole thing, a whole summer where he was going through all this stuff about, on the block and going on tour and stuff over summertime. But he put it together like a little mini movie or whatever. Go listen to that album.
I definitely will. I'm gonna do my homework for sure.
Yeah.
Master Ace, right?
Master Ace. It's called
Yeah.
Summer. I want to say it came out maybe it's sometime in the 2000s, but it's you'll catch it if you go to his catalog. It's called something Summer, but I can't remember the exact name of it right now. If it have Jacob, I'll send it to Jacob.
Boy, Master Ace, boy. I remember Master Ace said in 1994, because you got a fat pocket and you drop a BM, you love when the girl said, "Ooh, did you see him?"
Because I don't want you to go without listening to it, because I know you're a hip hop head. So I'm gonna give you that name. Right, it's called Long Hot Summer.
Long Hot Summer. Okay.
Yeah, go listen to that album, and you'll get an understanding of what I'm talking about with the way he put that album together. But I appreciate you coming on. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, see you at the top, brother.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Thank y'all for having me on, and definitely check out the Golden Age. And like I said, man, I'm gonna have much more heat coming too this year, and I'm gonna definitely have y'all in tune what's going on with Rockin'.
All right, all right, brother. Peace.
Peace.
Brown skin girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind. The girl, she